Full time now somebody talk about this thing. Very important question. This question have to get tabled in a parliament. When them man a train, especially if all the JNSC man them where them get all like training, weapon training, all like tactical, self-defense, you name it. They get all like training. And have them pan the work and after a while them tell us say, well then wash out. You let out them man there. Pan the road with all of that the training. What you expect the man them a go do? The man them a go use the training that they receive and them not have nothing else to do. So that them a go to. When me say them not have nothing else to do, it based on their mentality because some of them stronger than some, but for you weaker set them a go fall victim. Them a go turn to a badness because at the end of the day, them need food, them need to eat, them need to live. And them a go use the training where them have to receive that. And it keeping tabs on them, that well important. But me I tell her, that tab now keep on them. Them not keep no tabs on them. Government supposed to do that, but them not doing it.
It is in the government's best interest to keep track of those people, even if you're keeping track of them under the quiet, just to try figure out what their moves are. When you have people who are tactically trained and idling, you have a recipe for disaster. Recently, there was a man who was killed in his vehicle, and you can tell that he was killed by someone with some form of training. So it might be best, if they have not started, to start.
Hello everyone, this is a very interesting topic. I know of someone personally that did not get through. He didn't finish the combative training for the JDF because he developed some health issue, because their training is way more rigorous than the JCF, and he never made it past the training. However, he's now in the JCF, so he's not a good example of someone that never get through. But the point that I want to bring about is that he never finished his combative training, and he had gone through some of the training that the soldiers would have done. The good thing, he put film training to good use because he's still a part of the security forces on a lower level. But definitely, the folks that never complete because them develop health issue, or them maybe find a smoke weed or whatever reason they never complete, it gives reason for concern. I just never thought about it. And if me not think about it, I'm a regular civilian, me not know if the powers that be really think about it either. Because if you learn about shooting, because they teach you weapons training and all that, detailed instruction and training where it pertains to weapon and how to handle weapon. But then after you learn all of that, what do? There was some reference to a popular blogger that talked about the ex-military that came to Jamaica and him turned wayward, So it's a really cause for concern to say what really happened to them soldiers that would never make it past training, that did get weapons training and some level of combative training. Are they menace to society? Are they upstanding citizen? All of them. Because sometimes when you look for a class of body, you might not have 90% I do crap, but what about the 10%? That gets hidden among the 90%. So maybe it's something that needs to be looked into, but how we're going to look into it? It's a cause for concern. Because what if somebody would never make it out of Twickenham training or the JDF training, but now them turn 87 and know how to shoot gun, know how to do tactical things, It's a cause of concern, especially with crime are careless. This is a cause for concern. Or it should be something that them look into.
Good evening, people. My view, good topic, brilliant topic. Yes, I think the government should keep tabs on all the soldiers that they train, especially that it's the next scam that they've invented. They haven't got enough soldiers, so they train up the little young youths, tell them that, yes, I'm going to give you this dream of being a soldier. It's a false dream and all a lie. They don't actually make the cut. Just before they're supposed to graduate or turn soldier, they mysteriously, oh, we don't want you no more. And then them youths are sitting around in the communities. It's them same youths that are forming part of the Ranko gang and all these gangs, these elite gangs you're seeing going around. And it's them that's giving the gangs training. How about even in a Klansman gang, you hear that there's a soldier man in there. So yes, I think the government should keep tabs on the people them that goes into the military, like for the service. But then again, I wouldn't put no kind of faith or hope in the government because they can't even keep a track of themselves and your money, your tax money or our tax money that they have, much less and keep tracks and tabs of anything else. So to be honest, I think it will all just end up in corruption and one big palaver. So yeah, they should still keep track though, either way. It's a good thing. At least they know what the criminals are doing, because let's face it, all these youths that ain't got no job and done all the training, they're hungry and they want to eat. So guess what's happening? Yep, it's the same ones turning criminal and killing off everybody. So yeah, at least you'll know who's who and what's what. You know what I mean?
For me, on the topic, in my view, are simple. You know, it all depends on what stages of the academy they fail or they dropped out of, or possibly get kicked out. At the end of the day, you know, they recruit, the recruiters, the instructors supposed to can see certain skill set where an individual is, you know, possess and can know like, okay, we can harness this and use this to our advantage. Because you have a whole lot of people going to these academy and they walk away with vital information that can either hurt the police department, hurt the JDF department. So, you know, it's just all depends on what stage. If the fact that them drop out in at the latter stage of it, and you know, say, well, you know, them been through enough, now them know a lot. You know, you have to find something for those individuals. Do, you know, maybe at a lower stage, a lower rank, you know, whether if at the police department, you turn, you know, give them DC work to do, or find something for them to do. Where at least, you know, you can always call back on them later on because they possess a certain skill set where, you know, will come in handy further down the road. At the end of the day, you're monitoring people who, you know, fail or get kicked out. That's a whole heap of people you have to monitor. And, you know, Jamaica may not feel like they have the technology to monitor these people. So, you know, at the end of the day, if they're going to turn to crime, they're going to turn to crime. If they're going to use the guidance and the training that them get from the JDF or the JCF and make them a better person, then that's fine. But at the end of the day, monitoring them, you know, that's kind of tough. You see me? So as I said, at the end of the day, you look upon it from the skill set that the person possess. What type of skill set they possess, because you need to do the extensive background check on them. And you look, some of them people that come out of computer networking work or, you know, data work, whatever it is. So, you know, you can utilize that skill set that them have and enhance it and put them in some position where, you know, them can either become a part of the cybercrime team, but something, you know, just left them because, you know, them once were interested and them still are going to be interested regardless of what branch or what division you find something for them to do and put them in a.
My take on this, in my view, is that a man must reach the final process so he can get the training if he not going to make the final cut. It shouldn't even reach this, so you see me? The process will stay away where if a man not going to make the final cut, he have to reach the training. So if you set away where why elimination process be more rigorous. You understand what I say? You understand? So if a man not up to standard, you know, him now go get the training. The training is supposed to be the final process where only people who have make the cut get the training. You understand? Or could that be a case where you may not meet the full standard of the training, but there must be something else you can do. You know, if you have them people that show up on the street, man. You understand? The man that come use them training and back on way, brother. Them the kind of man they when I meet a training there, when I meet the requirements to be a officer, supposed to be something like a bounty hunter, you understand? Yeah. Bounty hunters, them man they supposed to be or something like that. You understand? So even though they don't meet the training to be officer, make them be a bounty hunter or something like that. Them think they will help fight crime. Them that way you can keep tabs of them people they way either abscond bail, man where get bail and do all kind of things and them something. The government if you take a look if you looking at them thing there too, you know.
Bless up. Well, my 5 cent on this is the government should, but do we know the government of Jamaica lackadaisical system, lackadaisical for everything? So chances are, no, do. At the same time, they are regular citizens now, so you can't just monitor them because, and maybe 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 10, I should say, is the fact that these people might have a clean record to pass all the necessary steps to go to far as a training area. They must have been good upstanding residents or citizens of the country. Very unlikely most of them won't go into violence, I would say. They would try other field. Because yeah, they would have been some decent person, upstanding citizen to get to that stage. The military, as I said before, because you go through a rigorous interview, background checks, I assume, not 100% sure, but that should be the process. So yes, they come out, 1 and 2 might sway to the wayside, but the average ones might continue being upstanding citizen and try to apply elsewhere in law enforcement, whether some top security company or some company as security, personnel and so on and so on. But it's kind of hard to detect because if these guys get out there and decide to pass on information to their colleagues, like say, hey, this is the radio code, this is what we use, this is what we use, that's what we do, then, they might just corrupted, period. And those, that is definitely show you they were not needed. It was kind of good they got rid of them before they got in the system, because the fact that they got through the training, got kicked out, and decided to be corrupted and join the gangs or the forces, that was the same plan they would have done if they had gone inside. So it would be a bigger soul for them to be on the inside, working along with the criminal, than be on the outside and working with them. I don't know if you understand what it makes sense. But overall, I just hope that there is some tracking. I want to use tracking because tracking will be like infringing on their rights, and you can't do that, But I just hope that individual themselves have a clear and decency about them after they get rejected to be stand up and upholding citizens of the country and try to build it than tear it down.
Yes, I am. Well, I believe the government does keep a tabs on past security forces who leave the force, because there are so much secrets in the government that they know so much plans, so much operations that's of secretive nature. The government really have to keep tabs on them. I feel like them track them whereabouts, where they move to, whichever country them go to, or them communication like cell phones. I just feel like some of that going. The government is very secret. Remember, these are things that they consider national security. When you leave it up to civilians, when them leave the armed forces, there's too much secrets out there. The government, I believe them have a plan behind a plan where citizens don't really know and they're not transparent with it. I just feel like that. That's my opinion still. I feel like the government do have a way of tracking what ex-police and soldiers are who don't even make the training cut. The things that they're exposed to and know and learn about the government and know certain data and operations, the government have to track them. Because this can crumble a whole nation, what the people know, who's involved in it, and then gone back in the wider society. Government have to, and it happen all around the world. Them send out agents, we go take them out. If it going to affect them are the country in terms of national security. But I believe say it shouldn't happen, but it does happen. You know, people must go about their lives and enjoy the rest of their retirement or the rest of their lives knowing that they're free. But as long as you mix with the government, you're not free anymore. You know, it's like crime. It follow you anywhere you go. Well, sad, but that's the truth, and that's how I really think it happened.
Yes, morning, guys. So my 2 cents on this is that the government is not going to be able to, or the law enforcement is not going to be able to track those that who have been rejected. So persons who have received the training, we can't tell if they are using it for good or bad. But based on observation, most of these money heist that is going on, these big robbery, you can see that these persons are actually persons who are trained markspersons when they're shooting. So it's a possibility that most of them do the wrong and or them do the right thing. Some of them, when we realize too, they actually are using their skill in security forces for as body arm, and that's who actually those type of job most of them are doing. Well, you know, some do the other thing, do the other way, same way. So we can't really keep track of them. You can't keep track of them because you can't tell what is actually happening. But I don't think all of them are actually using their skill the right way. Some use it the wrong way, but this is just how the choices persons make nowadays and so forth. But I don't know what else to say about this because I've not actually been in or been around anyone who I know who have been through that process or so. So that's just my little 2 cents on that topic still.